Hey everybody, this is Jason from the Children's Museum of Houston, ASTE manager, welcoming you back for some more gross science. Right now what we're going to do is we're going to make some snot. Now, it seems like what does snot have to do with any kind of science? Well, it actually has to do with a couple different things in science. One thing it is it has some chemistry involved with it. You've made slime before, most of y'all. You know, you take a little bit of borax solution, you take a little bit of glue solution, you put it together, you mix it up, and then it becomes this kind of viscous fluid that you can, hang from your hand and it'll stretch out and all that good stuff. Well, that's pretty much what we're going to do to make snot. We're just going to use some different materials this time to make the snot. We're not going to use the borax solution, we're going to use something different, but we are still going to use the kind of glue solution. So what you're, in fact, looking at right there is a polymer. Polymers are those great things that we know about, long chain molecules with those repeating subunits. One of the most famous polymers, of course, is DNA. DNA, of course, is your genetic code. It's what makes you who you are, makes you different than everybody else. So polymers are a very, very important thing to learn. So as you're doing this kind of activity, this fun little activity for everybody, you can mention something like that. You can say, hey, you guys just made a polymer. Other kinds of polymers are like cellulose, starch, and things like that. In fact, one of the ingredients in this polymer that we're making is starch. So we're actually using a polymer to make another type of polymer. So it's pretty interesting. Now, the other thing is snot actually has a purpose. We call it snot, but it's mucus. And these mucins inside of your body are a huge defense against things in the air. Every time you breathe in, you are breathing in all kinds of crud into your body. You're breathing in dust. You're breathing in microorganisms like what we call germs, bacteria, viruses, all that kind of stuff. You're breathing in particulates in the air that aren't necessarily good for you. That stuff that comes from our cars, that comes from factories, that comes from chemical plants. And what your mucus does is it traps all that stuff. It grabs it while it's going down your throat, it grabs it in your nasal passages, it grabs you up around your upper part of your throat, and it keeps too much of that stuff from getting into your body, which is a very, very important thing. So in a very, very simple way of thinking, your mucus, your snot, is part of your immune defense. Okay? It helps out your immune system. So without this stuff in your body, you would be sick a lot more. In fact, you'd probably be dead pretty quickly because all kinds of stuff would be getting in your body all the time. Now, you gotta understand that sometimes your mucus is a warning sign for things not being so good. If you're hearing me right now, I don't sound exactly like my normal self. I have a little bit of a cold. I actually have some mucus in my throat right now, protecting me from all kinds of stuff. But right now I have an elevated amount of mucus because I'm a little bit sick. So that's a warning sign too. If you start to have a lot of mucus, it's your body telling you, hey, you need to go get some medicine, you need to go to the doctor, you need to do all these different things to get yourself better. You also got to understand that mucus comes in different stages. If you have like a clear mucus, a little cold, maybe some allergies, you sneeze, you have a little bit of clear mucus coming out your nose, you're fine. Clear mucus is okay, all right? There's not a lot of stuff building up in that clear mucus. If it becomes kind of like a yellowish, brownish color, you're getting a little bit sick. You need to actually, at that point, need to think about, hey, I should probably get some NyQuil at night, or I should get some kind of medicine to help me out with whatever cold or whatever germ or whatever bacteria virus I have, okay? If you start to have weird green mucus coming out of your throat, coughing it up, coming out of your nose, it's time to go to a doctor immediately. That is a huge, huge sign that something's not right. It could be an infection in your lungs, it could be an infection in your bronchial tubes, all kinds of different things that need to be sorted out fairly quickly. So that's one thing that you can let your kids know, is like how to detect which mucus is good and which mucus is bad. And it's something that, it'll stick with them. They'll be like, oh my goodness, I have this green mucus coming out my nose, I need to go to the doctor. So it's a very, very good thing to let them understand or help them to understand. So when we do our mucus though, when we do our snot, we like to make it a little bit more fun. We like to make it a little bit slimier than normally is. We're making the actual kind of gross green mucus that's a warning sign of having bad health. And we like to add boogers to it. Boogers are something that kids really enjoy. Our boogers are simple rice. So basically, this is a very simple thing for your kids to do, but Honestly, after you talk to them about this for a good 10-15 minutes, after you make it, it takes about 10-15 minutes for them to make it all, then they're going to play with it for half an hour. And that's perfectly fine. We want the kids to explore and play and have a good time with this stuff as well. Very simple solution to make. You have a 1 ounce cup here. You can go ahead and put 1 ounce of glue solution, very, very nastily colored glue solution, and go ahead and throw it into the bowl. You know, we sometimes give you guys a lot more glue solution that you actually need, so if you feel like you have enough, you can actually let the kids do 2 ounces. So I'm going to do 2 ounces so you can see a good amount of mucus. So go ahead and put that in the bowl. Discard this 1 ounce cup. Always cap up your glue because you spill that. It's a big mess. Grab a new 1 ounce cup, and this right here is liquid starch. Now, the one benefit of liquid starch over the borax that we normally give you is this stuff is fairly ineffective in hurting anybody. Okay, it's starch. It's something that we normally eat anyways. You don't want anyone to eat it, but I'm just saying if a kid accidentally were to, it's not something that you have to be too worried about, as opposed to borax. But we don't want kids eating anything like this because it's never good for them at all. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio. You go ahead and put 2 ounces now of the starch inside. And you can really see, even when you first put that starch inside, how kind of mucusy it looks. It looks like kind of very, very disgusting, gross snot. But you want to mix it together. So take your spoon, carefully stir it up, especially if you do 2 ounces, because that's about all this can hold, is about 4 ounces of fluid. So you want to get it stirred up. And then when you start to stir it up, you really start to see just how kind of slimy, gross snot it looks like. It's really, really, really effective. What I said about earlier, you know, with the starch and everything like that, if the kids want to play around and put it by their nose, that's what I'm saying. It won't hurt them. Just make sure they don't get it into their mouth or anything like that. But they can put it up on their skin or whatnot, and it won't hurt them at all. So you're going to get yourself a nice, really just kind of disgusting amount of snot here. And then that's when you can start to add boogers and stuff. And to make boogers is easy. Just throw some rice in there. You can take like these paper towels and take off little sections and put them inside there. You know, make it as disgusting as you want because that's the fun part of this. Like the gross science is, it's teaching a really good lesson about our immune system, but it's also a lot of fun for kids to make this kind of stuff. So let them explore, let them have a good time. Once you get that in there, you want to stir it up again, kind of get those boogers in there so they look like real boogers coming out of your snot. The rice will thicken it up a little bit. And like I said, I just put a few in there because I'm not going to sit here and tear pieces of paper for the next 10 minutes, but the kids can put as much as they want in. And then you can see like you have like these boogers on top and they're coming off the slime and they look really, really disgusting and gross. Now what's really fun too is that your kids will be given a bag and they can throw their snot inside there and take it home with them, and they can show their parents what they did and they can talk about what they learned today. So you just kind of put it in and it'll slide on out. And you can see it look at that. Perfect, snotty looking stuff. And then they have a little bag of snot they can take home with them. So again, start off with 1 ounce so that you make sure everybody gets a chance to make some snot. But if there's extra and you have enough for everybody, go ahead and give them another ounce so they can take a lot more home with them. I don't know how we achieved such a great color. I forgot what we did. If you ever want to replicate it, I think it was 5 green and 2 yellow food coloring, but this is like the perfect color for snot. This is like really, really good. And then the boogers look really, really amazing inside there. It's pretty gross. So that's our lesson on mucus and snot. Again, part of the immune system. Again, part of the gross science. A lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoy it. Have fun with your kids, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.